Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
There we go. Now we're back clocking in live as we got everything working here now for tonight's race. Hope everybody's in for some great action here tonight as we get set to rock and roll from Kansas Motor Speedway here tonight. The FFTv Cup Series here from Freedom Motorsport Alliance. We got some nice looking cars out there. Got a field of about 14 drivers right now. Hopefully we'll be able to keep most of them going throughout the night. As you see Joseph Philman there in the number 3 machine as he's rolling down the backstretch there, heading towards the front. So off of turn 3 and 4, you got Donald Ray out there in the number 19 looking underneath him as they come down here through the front stretch at Kansas. Looking back a little farther, we got P.J. Wetland there in the 82 machine. Jake Matsko, I really don't want to say who he's kind of modeled after. I didn't quite care for that driver. But, you know, it's near, say. Great looking paint scheme nonetheless there for Jake Matsko running that Home Depot machine. Mark Nelson running The Last of Us, kind of flip-flop from what he normally runs. Normally he's in a in a red car with the red and white, with a black and white accent. Tonight he's got a flip-flop, which looks really good there on that machine. We've got number 23 there of Matt Bryant, who's running what looks to be an old Valvoline style paint scheme. Matt Mars out there in the Wheaties machine that looks similar to what Dale Earnhardt Sr. drove. It's a great looking cars out here as we get started tonight. Let's get you trackside so you can kind of see these cars up close and personal. As you see, there's the 3. The Wheaties machine, there's that Valvoline of Matt Bryant. Mark Nelson out there in The Last of Us. There's the Home Depot machine of Chase Matsko, P.J. Wentland, 5 minutes to go. Sorry, 5 seconds ago. Now we've got checkered flag waving here in practice. So now we'll get into qualifying. Hopefully these drivers will set a great pace here tonight. We'll see how well it goes going forward. We'll let Chase Matsko rolling off the pit road right at this moment in time. There you see a lot of them coming out on track. There's that 23. Got Shane Griffin out there. And the number 6 Viagra machine. Clay Sarton out there in the 66 Monster Energy machine. Running up high there, coming through off of turn 3 and 4. Getting ready for his first lap. You can kind of see some of the times rolling down there at the bottom of your screen. As they get rolling here, you'll see them all down there. If they are in pink, that's a pretty decent time. If they're in green, that's an okay time. But they could do better than that as they keep rolling through here. Chase Matsko rolling with a great, great time through turns 1 and 2. And coming through 3 and 4, he'll set your quick time. Here comes Sarton. We'll see what he does. Sarton will sit about 4th right now. Chase Matsko, your pole sitter. Joseph Spillman back here in 2nd right now with a 30.162. Chase Matsko with a 30.143. You got Paul Wetland there with a 30.343. Matt Bryant with a 30.428. And I see we're not found over here on the scoreboard, so we'll try to see if we can get that loaded in here better, since it wants to be a problem. See if we'll give it a moment, see if it'll come back up live. There we go. And your ticker's back. You're welcome. Mark Nelson out on track. I thought he was anyway. Yeah, there he is. Ryan Peters is out there finishing his laps. Ryan Peters with a 29.977. Graham Connolly coming off of pit road right now. See where they stack up. All right, off turn 3 and 4. Here he comes to the line. Graham Connolly with a 30.206. Donald Ray, we didn't quite check out there. We did have some go and get quicker times there than Matsko. Chase Matsko down to 4th now with a 29.956. Clay Sarton there with a 29.947. Mark Nelson, he comes in with a flying time of 29.721. Donald Ray with a 29.637. Graham Connolly improves his to a 30.031, moving him in the 7th position to start the race here tonight. We'll take a better look at the grid whenever we get it up here. But as of right now, that's what we're looking at. As qualifying ends. And warm-ups get underway. Up, everybody's coming in ready for some racing time here. And see drivers come off, getting ready for warm-ups. As they leave pit road, making sure they got everything kind of tightened up where they would like it. Tanner Ensign there in the 44. PJ Wentland there in the 82. Matt Bryant there in the 23. Ryan Peters back here in the 5. Running the cars, Kellogg's machine. Bobby Watts running the number 37, Ninja Turtles. With Donald Ray there, you see him in that Mountain Dew, number 19. I think Graham Connolly going underneath the 23 of Matt Bryant. Bryant seemed to be struggling a little bit, trying to get a little bit feel of the car. He's down there on the apron once again. And almost lost it there coming through the turn. Coming back there off of 4, back across through that front stretch. Tanner Ensign there in the 44. YO Outlaw. Wentland there in the 82. Chase Matsko now out on track, trying to see if he can keep that time going that he set earlier as he's up there against that outside wall. There you see, I think that was Connolly down there on pit road, and it is. You see them coming through off the corners. You got Donald Ray up there towards the top side running that high line. This looks like it might be a top dominant racetrack here at the start of this. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as Chase Matsko into the outside wall, ends up bringing it down across the track. Or, I'm sorry, not Chase Matsko, Matt Mars. Mars down there onto the apron. Gets it loose. He brings it across through the grass, cutting a little bit of that infield grass for us. Getting down there on the apron. There's Chase Matsko, the car I thought I was talking about, but wasn't. 26 there. The Home Depot machine. The other one's Wheaties. I got to make sure I keep them straight tonight. And they all are the Gen 4 NASCAR. So these are the Gen 4 series. Now, if you look to get into iRacing, if you're looking to get into these, there is only one model at this point in time, which is the Chevy model, but with the talent of these painters and stuff, they're able to paint them up and make them look like they belong. As you see the Ford Fusion there, Bobby Watts. We've got Matt Bryant, I think he's running a Ford as well. Not quite sure, I didn't quite get a good look at it. No, he's running a Monte Carlo. Chase Matsko's running a Pontiac. Donald Ray's running a Dodge, which looks really good. Jamie Bray out there on the high side, getting a touch of that outside wall. He's driving a Ford Taurus. Sharpie machine. Just because your car's a Sharpie doesn't mean you need to go make marks on the wall. Down here in the corner number 3, as we're on board here with Chase. Working on down through here. Minute 20 left to go in the here in warm-ups. Not sure why certain things aren't working, but they're causing me a little bit of a problem. So that's quit. Okay. That's what I thought. That's scooping up. Hold on a moment. Let me shut this down. Shut this down. We're going to try to reload it here. Now we get set to rock and roll from Kansas Motor Speedway. Let's look at the starting grid once it comes up here. Starting grid. And it's going to be Donald Ray out front, Mark Nelson there in second. Clay Sarton there third, Chase Matsko fourth. TJ Wentland rolls off fifth tonight. Brian Peters there in sixth. And this is not 4-2, but 5-something. 5-14. Graham Connolly there in seventh position. Joseph Spillman there in eighth. Shane Griffin there in ninth. Matt Bryant there 10th. Bobby Watson 11th. And 12th is Tanner Ensign. Ensign. And 13th we got Matt Mars with Jamie Bray in 14th. As they come here to the green flag, everything is down and away. 80 laps of distance as they get set to rock and roll here. Down that front straightaway, side by side, you got Mark Nelson up there on the high side as they work on down through here off the back. Or onto the back, rather. Single file up there towards the outside lane, which is kind of what I figured here early on. We're looking there at Graham Connolly, now on to Ryan Peters. There we go. Now it's working. Now we got them side by side there for third place. Mark Nelson up there on top. And the 82 of PJ Wentland down there on the bottom side. As they start battling it out. Uh-oh. Okay, they kept it straight. I thought that was really close. They might have rubbed tires there a little bit between Wentland and Nelson. Graham Connolly coming up there through the field. He's sitting there in sixth right now, looking underneath Mark Nelson. And you got that number 26 of Jake Matsko, where he's rolling down there on the bottom side through off of 4. Down there across the front straightaway as he's down there along the bottom side of the racetrack. The 19 of Donald Ray out front, the 66. 66 there of Clay Sarton. Now it's there in second. They got Wentland there third. And you see that Mountain Dew machine out front. You got the Monster Energy machine there in second. Wentland in third in that number 82 machine. And then fourth is Chase Matsko in that Home Depot machine. Here comes Graham Connolly out there on the outside in that number 31. There you see that 37 of the Ninja Turtles machine. Working on down through off the corner, down that backstretch, down into corner number 1. Or I'm sorry, corner number 3 and 4 rather. I'm getting all spun around here. As they come off of 4, everybody's kind of single file except for Chase Matsko and Graham Connolly, who are battling for 4th. And then you look back a little farther. That number, I'm going to say that's the 40. Yeah, no, that's the 23. Matt Bryant down there on the inside, working below the 6 of Shane Griffin. Now you see that 5 of Brian Peters up there trying to make some moves as you're on board with him now coming here out of turn number 4. Got to try to keep it off that outside wall as you do get real close to it. Coming down that front straightaway now, front stretch down into corner number 1. Side by side, a little farther back. That's Shane Griffin and Tanner Ensign. Work down here into the next corner. Bobby Watts. That Ninja Turtles whirling down off of the corner, down here through the front stretch. Graham Connolly there in 4th. Chase Matsko up to 3rd as he's looking to see if he can better himself underneath the wetland. What happened there? I'm trying to see. Clay Sarton, he must have fallen back a little bit as he was running 2nd. Now he's back here to 5th. As drivers are getting around him. Donald Ray out front. There you see Chase Matsko now up in the 2nd. Graham Connolly there 3rd as Wentland's there in 4th. Here comes Clay Sarton as he tries to battle it out back up there into that 4th position, but currently sitting 5th. He's got a near pull of back up there in the 4th position. Yeah. He's got a mere pull of Jamie Bray as now he's making a move underneath Wetland. So Sarton making a move under Wetland as they come around off of 4. Gets that move. Here comes Jamie Bray, who started at the back of the pack as he did not qualify. Now he's working down there on the bottom side of the racetrack underneath the 82 of Wetland. Now down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Back around here off of 2. Heading towards the back stretch side by side there for that next spot back between Mark Nelson and the 82 of Wentland. And up front, all single file for the time being. Closest thing we have here is, look out, here comes Sarton back on the outside, looking above Connolly as they come down here through off the front stretch, but look no too far. There comes Jamie Bray as he works down off of the corner, heading down here in the corner number 1. Mark Nelson sitting in 7th there with them all side by side at that around that spot. Now here comes Ryan Peters up here to the bumper of the 82, trying to give him a shove down the backstretch, try to get around Mark Nelson. Bobby Watson, the 37, Ninja Turtles there. Matt Bryant there in the Valvoline 23 machine with Tanner Ensign there in 11th, and that number 44. Working down off of the front stretch, there you see Chase Matsko in that number 2 spot. Running that number 26, Clay Sarton there in 3rd now. Graham Connolly up in the 4th, Jamie Bray 5th. Mark Nelson, there's 6th. They roll on down through, off of the corner, onto that backstretch here tonight. Chase Matsko there 2nd, Clay Sarton there 3rd. Coming up here to lap number 12, Chase Matsko out of Saxburg, PA, running that Home Depot machine. I think sometimes maybe he thinks he's tormenting me when he does that. Clay Sarton there in the in the Monster machine. Right behind him in that Sharpie machine is Jamie Bray. Hopefully he's keeping that car off the wall. We don't need to be adding Sharpie marks to the outside wall. Well, adding them Sharpie marks to the outside wall just kind of slow you down a little bit there, Jamie. Graham Connolly there in 5th. Mark Nelson there 6th. Brian Peters there 7th. Wentland there in 8th. Matt Bryant in 9th. With Bobby Watts rounding out your top 10 there in the Ninja Turtles Pizza Hut 37 machine. Shaden Griffin back here toward the back. Joe Spillman also hanging out towards the back in that number 50 machine. Now he rolls down the backstretch. Matt Mars back there in the number 3. He's rolling towards the back of the pack right now. Lap number 13 is now officially in the books as we start lap number 14 of the 80 for the distance here tonight. Clay Sarton there in 3rd, Jamie Bray 4th, Graham Connolly there 5th. Ryan Peters there 6th with Mark Nelson there 7th. TJ Wentland there in 8th. Matt Bryant 9th. Bobby Watson 10th. As they all come storming down here through. Look out, here comes Clay Sarton now working his way up there to Chase Matsko. As Matsko's currently running 2nd. As Sarton backed off a little bit, it seems, as Jamie Bray is sitting there in 4th right now. Over top at Graham Connolly and Ryan Peters. Ryan Peters up there on the top side of the racetrack. As you can see that right now as they work down the backstretch. And getting a great run of Bob Connolly as they work down through here. Jamie Bray watching that mirror, trying to figure out which lane he needs to try to work with to keep himself ahead of the pack. Now these two drivers. Work here out of the corner. Now Bray down there on the bottom. As you see, Peters happen to stay up a little bit due to Connolly and Nelson being there. As you see Nelson on the bottom side of the racetrack. Great race in here with these drivers as they're side by side trying to battle for spots here in lap number 16. But out front, oh, here he goes, 16, or the 66 of Clay Sarton. Up there into the outside wall, tried to get up there, had a run, but had to get kind of out of it there, get off that outside wall. Now he's going to try to gather it back up and get back up there to Chase Matsko, who's currently running 2nd. But it's just a madhouse back here behind them. Now you can see them, everybody just sitting there. There you see Bobby Watts. There you see the mess of cars. They work there off a 2. Jamie Bray sitting there in 5th as they come down there out of the corner. Ryan Peters there in 4th, as he got around Jamie Bray for that position. Graham Connolly falling back another position as Nelson gets around him. So these drivers definitely shuffling positions a little bit here as they come down here into the bottom of the corner. Whoa, keep it easy. As we got Peters up there towards that outside wall. You got Nelson fighting down there on the bottom side. Coming off of turn number 2. Everybody looks great there with the throwback paint schemes on these cars. And they roll off the corner. Oh, the 5 there of Ryan Peters getting a little loose coming there into the tri-oval as they work down here in the corner number 1. Nelson drops up in front there of Graham Connolly. I don't know. He might have startled Graham a little bit there as they worked off the corner. Everybody sitting down through here off of the corner. We were on board there with Ryan Peters. Now we're looking at Jamie Bray as he's working up there trying to get up to Ryan Peters, who's currently running 4th, as he's got a mirror pull of Nelson, as Nelson now is all over the bumper of Jamie Bray coming down through the tri-oval, getting underneath him here in the corner number 1. Connolly also trying to keep a spot there from Wentland, as Wentland now goes and gets a run on Bray. Brett Mars, he has crashed. Not sure exactly what happened there. Caution does not come out. There's still green flag racing, but we'll take a quick look at this here as they come off of the corner. As it looks like he just found that outside wall and brought it down there into the grass. And it looks like it was a pretty hard hit to the outside wall as well. He was running there. Oh, he took a shot there to the wall too. So there you see, car's nice and clean. Then he comes up and bam, there you see the first dent. Comes down here into the next corner, and then, bam, gets a little bit picked up there from the back from Spillman and up into the outside wall. Oh, man, what a move there for Mars as they're still racing out front. There you see Jamie Bray. He's in 5th as Ryan Peters is around him there, sitting 4th. Clay Sarton still trying to chase down Chase, who's running 2nd. Mark Nelson there in the middle there. Up there against the outside wall now, as you see him coming there behind with Graham Connolly. Graham Connolly down there on the bottom side, getting around Nelson, as Nelson ended up in that outside wall. Down here off of 4, back around that tri-oval. Hang on to it. Whoa, and Graham Connolly's way loose. Down through the grass, ends up bringing it back up there onto the racetrack. Tries to keep it together. Had to slow up a little bit. And he will bring it down there on the apron. Now he's going to bring it through off the corner. As he gathered it back up out of Melbourne, Australia. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Joe Spillman's up there on the top side of the racetrack. Chase Matsko there in 2nd with Clay Sarton running 3rd. Ryan Peters there in fourth. Jamie Bray fifth. Now, we were just looking at P.J. Wentland there in sixth. Now, he's trying to make a run at Jamie. And now Jamie's there trying to make a run for fourth spot, getting up there to Ryan Peters. So this can get a little interesting here, I must say, as the drivers continue along. These drivers running everything they can, trying to get every little bit out of this. I see Jamie Bray fighting for that position, trying to get up there to Ryan Peters, and is slowly gaining on him as the time goes down here. We're on lap number 27 of 80. So laps ticking away. Everybody's staying green. P.J. Wentland ended up off track there for a little bit. There's Matt Bryant. As you see the 23 there, that is the 23 of Matt Bryant, sorry. Getting a little loose there out of the corner. He's there behind the 82 of Wentland. Wentland, as we say, I see here on my notes, ended up off track for a moment. Hopefully he can keep it back on track. And we've got the 26 of Chase Matsko and Ryan Peters down pit road as those two make a pit stop. As they try to figure out, as it looks like Joseph Spillman as well will come into the pits. So now we got 3 in pit road. We're watching Wentland and the 82. Oh, in the 82, along with Matt Bryant. Donald Ray has entered pit lane along with Ryan Peters. Chase Matsko already did enter. As you see Chase coming off of pit road there. Donald Ray coming on. Mark Nelson coming on. Spillman here coming off now. Got a little damage there to the left front, or I'm sorry, right front of that machine. So how's that gonna get this pitch strategy figured out? Now, see, the way we were running the next gens, whenever we were running that season, we're into Gen 4s now. So we're running a new season, new set of tracks, everything. When we were running the Gen 6, they have a formula, and I think they're running the formula here too, to where you have to make 2 pit stops before you make it to the end. And so they're going to have to make at least 1 more pit stop, I believe, if we stay green. Obviously, that all can kind of go out the window if there's cautions. We see a lot of drivers really starting to slide around here as you see more of them take the pit road. Shane Griffin there in the 2nd spot now, up 10 from where he started, is Tanner Ensign. Shane Griffin up there in front in that number 6 machine. And now Clay Sarton, sorry. Bobby Watts coming in, Wentland coming in. Gray is out, Mars is down 6. All right, keep rolling off through here. AC Bryant in the number 23. Graham Connolly in the 71. Shane Griffin and Tanner Ensign now come down pit road. That's going to hand the lead back to Donald Ray. But Clay Sarton, he is gaining ground, sitting there in second. Chase Matsko in third. He's going to have to figure out what type of speed he can gather up. Just try to stay up there with them. Because I'm not sure exactly how it played out here. We're going to look here, though. If we can get this to show right, we're going to see when their pit stops were. Everybody has one pit stop. And there's our pit laps. Jake Matsko pitting at lap 27. Sarton sitting there at lap number 25. Donald Ray at lap number 28. There you can kind of see where these drivers did their pit laps. They're doing a great job here tonight, making everything work. And it's in there. What a great, great night here. Beautiful night, beautiful weather here. Speaking of weather, let's take a quick look at it here. This is your weather for tonight. 66 degrees for your temperature. I'm sorry, 66 degrees is your track temperature. 65 degrees is your ambient temperature. 25% humidity, partly cloudy with 2-mile-per-hour winds. Hey, drivers do a great job coming down the backstretch. Donald Ray out front. Clay Sarton there in second. Chase Matsko third. Mark Nelson there fourth. Ryan Peters fifth. Shane Griffin back here sixth with Bobby Watson seventh. Joseph Spillman there eighth. Graham Connolly back in ninth with Matt Bryant rounding out your top 10. As we said before, Jamie Bray looks to be out. I don't see his numbers changing anymore. Tanner Ensign there back in 11th. Wetland back here in 12th. And Matt Bars sitting on pit road once again with more damage to that number 3 machine. And everybody getting a little spread out here. Let's go ahead and bring up the track map just so we can kind of keep track of where everybody is. Might help us see the battles going on at the moment too. As we see, it looks like most of the battles might be around the 71 there. Graham Connolly. And you got Joseph Spillman there as well. We're now on board with him, working there out of the corner. So we see Spillman. There's Graham Connolly right there with him. Bobby Watts a little bit ahead there in the number 37 machine. Here at lap number 38 of 80. So I'm looking at this right. If my calculations in my mind, remember, I'm doing this all in my mind. If my calculations in my mind is correct, you're here at lap 38. Working on lap number 38, soon to be on lap number 39, coming here off the corner. Donald Ray's running lap 9:39 as you see that he comes 37 rolls across. There you see Donald Ray, Chase Matsko up here. But what I'm getting at is we pitted about lap 30-ish. Maybe some of them pitted a little bit before, some of them a little later. But lap 30 seemed to be the mark. I look for lap number 60 to be the next mark. So keep an eye on that. If we can stay green flag racing, another 20 laps from now, around lap 60, that's when I bet you'll see drivers start taking the pit road again. Somewhere around there. So you might see them, I'd say probably starting around lap 66, possibly lap 67. It's going to be my guess on when we go with the stop. So 80 minus 26. So a few of them might go at 26 to go. Some of them might go closer to 20 to go. So we'll keep an eye on that as they come here racing on towards the finish here, as we're just now a little over halfway in the FFTv Cup Series here tonight from Kansas. Donald Ray is your leader with Clay Sarton there second, Mark Nelson third, Chase Matsko there 4th, Ryan Peters 5th, Shane Griffin there 6th, Bobby Watts 7th, Graham Connolly there 8th, Joseph Spillman 9th with Matt Bryant in 10th. As they keep on rolling down through here, 80 laps, like we said, is the distance. We're on lap number 42. Donald Ray working down in the corner number 3 and 4. Clay Sarton there in 2nd. Mark Nelson 3rd. Chase Matsko 4th. Ryan Peters there 5th with Shane Griffin there 6th. Bobby Watts 7th. Graham Connolly in 8th. Joseph Spillman 9th. Matt Bryant there in 10th as he's looking underneath of Joseph Spillman down the backstretch, trying to see if he can gain a spot here. And he will do so over top of Joseph Spillman, so he'll set his sights now on Graham Connolly. Surprised Graham Connolly is kind of back where he is, but it could be all done by pitch strategies that ended up putting him back there. As we said, the pitch strategies can get things a little bit skewed, I guess you could call it. I just see Shane Griffin running by himself out there on the backstretch. Ryan Peters at the back of this pack with Chase Matsko. Mark Nelson down there on the inside below that white line. That's 66 of Clay Sarton. And they're all chasing down this man who's on to the backstretch, Donald Ray. As Mark Nelson now tries to hang on to 2nd place as he rolls off. Clay Sarton falls into 4th now. He ended up into the outside barrier down the backstretch. Now falls in behind the 26th, Chase Matsko. Chase Matsko now back up there in the 3rd, but Mark Nelson in 2nd. Donald Ray out running really, really well here tonight out of Rockwall, Texas, as he comes back down in the corner number 1 and 2, heading on to that backstretch. Only a few drivers a lap down, and that's Wentline and Bray, along with Matt Mars. And I want to say Mars may be out of this one as well, as I no longer see. No, Mars is still sitting on pit road. Mars is still sitting on pit road. Ray is out, as I don't see his number anywhere. He's number 41, and I'm not seeing that anywhere on the track. Because the numbers that are going around your map, that is the car number. So if you know which driver you're cheering on, be sure to keep an eye on that track map as we are over halfway heading here into lap 47. As Ray comes out of turn number 4, coming back through that front stretch in that Dodge machine. And I must say, that Dodge front end looks really, really good there on that. And they handle down through here off the corner. There you see Chase Matsko in the Pontiac. Clay Sarton there. And that Chevrolet. You got the Chevrolet of Mark Nelson down there on the bottom side as well, coming there off the corner. Shane Griffin in that 6 by Agri machine. I believe that's a Ford Taurus. It is, as they work there off the corner in that 6th position. Like we said, he's kind of just out there running all by himself, kind of similar to Donald Ray. As Ray is about a half a lap ahead of where the 6 of Shane Griffin sits. Mark Nelson's there 2nd. Clay Sarton there in 4th. And we see. All right there, Chase, I got a question for you. Why you got the rookie stripes on the back of that machine? I didn't think you were considered rookie at this. What's up with the rookie stripes? I think Clay Sarton there in 4th. Ryan Peters there 5th. Shane Griffin, we're on board with him as we come down here in the corner number 1 and 2. As the leaders work off of turns 3 and 4. There's Ryan Peters. Back there in 5th. Chase Matsko up there on the outside. Whoa, hang on to Clay Sarton. He's coming into pit road at lap 50. He's coming to pit road with 30 to go. Going to see if that strategy works out for him or not. Head on down through. Chase Matsko there, 3rd. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was working right or wrong or what was going on, but we got Donald Ray up here in front, Mark Nelson there second, Chase Matsko third. And we're going off the corner. There you see Chase Matsko down there on, oh, I'm sorry, no, that was the Wheaties machine of Matt Mars as he comes back out onto the track here past lap number 52. So he got some damage fixed on that machine. Just trying to finish it out to try to get some points here. They work down the backstretch here in the corner number 3 and 4. There you see Shane Griffin in that 6th machine coming here off of 4. Heading back around towards that front stretch as Chase Matsko sitting there third, Mark Nelson there second. Question becomes, now that we've seen Sarton pit, when do the others? That's the question to be had. When do the others pit? Chase Matsko back there in third, Ryan Peters there fourth, Shane Griffin there fifth, Bobby Watts in sixth. As they work on down through off the backstretch on the corner number 3 and 4, coming around. Joseph Spillman now comes to pit road, and he looks like he's got a little bit of problem to that machine, as it looks to be kind of a little bit out of alignment, but I'm not sure. We'll let the officials figure that one out. Then they come down through the front stretch down here in the corner number 1. Mark Nelson running second. Donald Ray out front, hasn't looked back. What a great job here by him. As we got Chase Matsko now here in third. Ryan Peters there fourth. Shane Griffin there fifth. Bobby Watson sixth. Graham Connolly there seventh. Tanner Ensign there in eighth. Matt Bryant there ninth. Clay Sarton there in 10th. Man, oh man, what a great job. As they roll on down through off the backstretch here in the corner number 1. I see Bobby Watts there in fourth, Graham Connolly there fifth, Tanner Ensign there in sixth, Matt Bryant there seventh, Clay Sarton there in eighth. As we've got a bunch of them now lapped down as Clay Sarton, Chase Matsko, Ryan Peters, PJ Wentland, and Joseph Spillman have all taken to the pits here so far. That is why you see them a lap down, as they went a lap down by taking the green flag stop. And here we are, 24 laps to go. So they started pitting about 30 to go. Now we see them about 24, so there's still more that have to come in here. We see Mark Nelson coming down that backstretch in the corner number 3 and 4, trying to figure out if he's going to be able to catch Donald Ray. Donald Ray's going to time this stop right to make sure that he's not putting himself at a disadvantage here and losing this race. Nelson coming in. And 66 there comes in. Spillman lost him off the racetrack there for a moment. He must have had a small connection problem. I would see Shane Griffin coming in. Tanner Elsing coming in as well. So now we're down to 4. Here comes Donald Ray as he comes in. So keep an eye on some of this. This could get interesting, folks. I would see that 66 there of Clay Sarton come around. He's going to get his lap back. That might be all he does. As Donald Ray comes down onto the pits, here comes the rest of the leaders. Graham Connolly and Bobby Watts, Matt Bryant staying out another lap. Oh, Matt Bryant doing a great job. He's coming out, or he might come this time. We'll see. Looks like he is down there on the bottom. Bringing it to pit road this time. Clay Sarton now up there in second. Donald Ray here third. As Chase Matsko's there fourth. As Matt Bryant brings it down across pit road. Tanner Ensling there. Right behind him is Spillman. Then you got the 66 of Sarton. As Sarton comes across, there comes Donald Ray. So the question is, does Sarton have enough of a lead over top of Ray to kind of hold it? Chase Matsko sitting here third. Closest one there to him is Brian Peters back there in fourth. Brian on the pit lane now. Wentland back on pit road. That's with Bobby Watts. We see the 23 of Matt Bryant working his way back off of pit road. Here comes the 82 of Wetland as well. Bobby Watts working his way off. There's Wetland coming in. Stopping there in the pit. There's Donald Ray. Plays Sarton. Now, I'm thinking Sarton might start getting a little antsy here as he knows that 19 is fast. Now we'll keep an eye on their times here, as the best time out of them was a 30.07 for Donald Ray, and the best time out of Sarton was a 30.35. Last one, though, Donald Ray just lays down his fastest lap of the session with a 30.01, with Clay Sarton laying down a 31.20, so that is going to help Ray take back over that lead as they come here out of 4. So Donald Ray back out front, starting there in second. Matsko back here in the pack, running about third. Ryan Peters in that same pack, a little farther back though. Sitting here in fourth. Mark Nelson there in fifth. Nelson is in striking distance though of that 5 machine of Peters. Can he get up there and make that run as they come down off of 2? Down that backstretch there, you look into the inside. Getting it down and make it happen. Down there on the bottom side, he does get around. Can he bring it up and complete it? Yes, he will. Coming here off of turn number 4. Nelson now up in the 4th spot as they work here down back into corner number 1. Chase Matsko there in 3rd. Sarton there in 2nd. Ray up there in front where he's been all night long. 17 laps to go here at Kansas. They roll down the backstretch. Everybody down through off of turn number 1 and 2. Looks like Matt Mars is back in the pits. We got Mark Nelson out there on the front. Coming across the line, down here through into corner number 1. Putting some distance between him and Peters now. He tries to see if he can get anything gained on Chase Matsko. Matsko looks like he's got a lap down car to his bottom side, and that's the 23 of Bryant. So I don't think Matsko's going to really race him all that hard. He might just let him have the spot. He's more concerned about trying to get up there to battle the 66 of Sarton. As Sarton drops it down there to the bottom side. Here comes Matsko. He's running up there behind the 50. He now gets back up there to the outside, going to try to hang it out there. And we're on board with Chase Matsko. Getting around the 50th Spillman. There you see in his crosshairs is Clay Sarton. Can he get up there and battle for that second spot as we head to 15 to go? Coming here out of the corner. Here comes Matsko. He's looking to see if he can make that pass down on the inside. And if I remember correctly, Sarton tried to pit early. So he's got older tires than what Matsko does as they roll down into corner number 1. So that's going to hurt Sarton a little bit. Having those older tires, that's really going to hurt him if he's getting up there into that outside wall like that. Putting some stripes on the car and the wall. As we head down here into corner number 3 once again, Mark Nelson there in 4th. He's looking down there below. And Chase Matsko into the wall again. That's going to let Mark Nelson go around. And now he's trying to fight off Sarton again. Here comes Peters. Peters now gets up there to battle. Peters going down to the inside of Sarton now as he looks to try to get that 4th position away and looks to battle up there for that 3rd position as well, as Matsko ended up into the outside wall. Mark Nelson now running 2nd as they all are chasing down Donald Ray, who's coming out here across the stripe down into corner number 1. A night of racing to be had by Donald Ray as we're coming to 12 to go. Mark Nelson down there in 2nd. Chase Matsko 3rd. Brian Peters there in 4th. Clay Sarton there in 5th. Graham Connolly 6th with Tanner Ensign there in 7th. Matt Bryant there in 8th. Joseph Spillman there 9th. and Shane Griffin rounds out your top 10. All right, here we go, down through, off the back stretch, onto that front stretch now. 10 laps to go. Donald Ray is your leader with Mark Nelson there in second. Chase Matsko there third. Brian Peters fourth. Clay Sarton there fifth. Graham Connolly there sixth. Tanner Ensign there in seventh. Matt Bryant there eighth. Joseph Spillman there ninth. Shane Griffin there in 10th with P.J. Whitman there in 11th. Bobby Watts in 12th as they roll out onto that backstretch. Mark Nelson second, Chase Matsko third, Ryan Peters there fourth, Clay Sarton there fifth, Graham Connolly back here in sixth, Tanner Ensign there in seventh, Matt Bryant in eighth, Joseph Spillman there ninth, and Shane Griffith in 10th as they roll off the backstretch. Down there on the inside here they go. Donald Ray out in front. Like I said, he's been there all night long. Mark Nelson there in second, Chase Matsko a little bit ways back. He now rolls by Spillman now as he rolled by him once, ended up in the outside wall, kind of let him back again. Ryan Peters got around Sarton. Now he's looking to see if he can get up there and battle Matsko. Matsko just trying to hang on to what he can without getting that outside wall anymore. He really playing close to that wall up there. Off of two they go, down here across the backstretch, 8 laps to go. Now 7 as Donald Ray comes across the line. Mark Nelson soon to be as he comes across out of 4. Chase Matsko and Ryan Peters here is the battle we're watching. It's the battle for third as Peters gets up there to Matsko, looking there in the inside. Matsko up there across the top side. As Peters closes that gap a little bit. Chevy Monte Carlo versus the Pontiac Grand Prix. And there you see it. There's the sparks out of that Chase Matsko 26. That's going to allow Peters to get around. Matsko, you should have stayed off that wall. That wall's just there to slow you down. Mark Nelson there second, doing a great job just trying to hold on to where he's at. Ryan Peters now there in third as he gets up into the outside wall. Oh, man, these drivers tonight up into that outside wall quite a bit. Sparks showering the track, and Sparks, there you see the 5 back up there again. Here comes Chase Matsko now. He looks to the bottom side. He's going to try to retake that spot away from Peters. Now, that's what's going to keep this race going on like this. Is that these drivers just battling back and forth because the one in front of them getting into the wall. I wonder if that's why he's got the rookie stripes on that Pontiac tonight. He's up in that outside wall so much, kind of like a rookie would be. Mark Nelson there in second. Ryan Peters there third. In fourth. Chase Matsko there in third. Up, touching that outside wall again. We're on board with him. Up there in front, you see Matsko there. He's got a lap down car there with him. And way up there in front, yeah, that's the 82 there of Wetland. Matsko and Peters battle it out there in third and fourth. Peters backing off. Going to see if he can get the run coming off the corner. Cannot quite get there this time. 3 laps to go. As the 19 of Donald Ray is halfway down the backstretch into corner number 3 already. As these drivers here battling for third and fourth, just get into corner number 1. Here we see Donald Ray. His viewpoint as he comes here off of turn number 4, bringing it to 2 laps to go as Ryan Peters and Chase Matsko still battle it out for that third and fourth position. Down here through off of turn number 3, back out on that front stretch. Peter's really hanging that car out, trying to get up there and battle as hard as he can to get up there to Chase Matsko. Problem is, did he burn up the tires trying to get up there? No, I don't know. He's down there on the bottom side, getting a little bit of a run. As you see him up there on the top side, going to come off the corner, slide back up behind him, try to get as much side draft as he can. As Matsko tries to hold him off there, up towards the front, as Matsko's up there towards that outside wall again. Careful, Matsko. Like we said, that outside wall is not really your friend as Peters gets into it. So that's going to slow Peters down a little bit. So that's going to give Chase some breathing room here on the last lap. Donald Ray coming out of the final corner now to capture the win here at Kansas. Up off of turn 4, down across the stripe. Donald Ray is your winner. Mark Nelson coming across here in second. Chase Matsko, if he holds on, will be third unless he gets in that outside wall again. And whoa, hang on to it. Peters really drifting it out of turn 4. Back down here across the stripe, so Peters finishes fourth here tonight. Great job here by these drivers as they hang on to everything they could to finish what they started tonight. All right, your finishing order. Here tonight is going to be Donald Ray finishing there in first, Mark Nelson second, Chase Matsko third, Brian Peters fourth, Clay Sarton there fifth, Graham Connolly in sixth, Tanner Ensign there in seventh, Matt Bryant there eighth, Joseph Spillman there ninth, Shane Griffin there 10th, P.J. Wentland there in 11th, Bobby Watson 12th, Matt Mars there in 13th, Jamie Bray 14th. That is your finishing order. Let's see if we can get with some of these drivers now. We had a here. Let's go with third place. Chase Matsko. Good evening, Chase. How's it going? It's not working over here? What the hell? All right, Chase, you there?
I am here.
All right, we got it working again. So, how that race tonight, I noticed you were running a Tony Stewart theme.
I'd like to do that to mess with you, you know?
Well, that's what I kind of figured. But I do have a question. I noticed
What's
there
up?
was 2 stripes on the back of that machine. I didn't think you were classified as rookie.
Oh, you know. Ovals I kind of am it sometimes.
I mean, not to bash you too much, but you kind of look like a rookie a few times getting into that outside wall.
Oh, that wall sucks you in. You touch it, you're stuck. You're stuck there the whole corner. It's not fun.
It definitely looked like it sucked you in, and you and Peters were battling back and forth because one would get around and get sucked into the wall, and then the other one would go around and he'd get sucked into the wall.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun, though. We were definitely pushing as hard as we could there.
Well, it doesn't seem like anybody had anything for Ray tonight, though.
No, I kept him within a second for the first run, then I got into the wall, like you said, and then he just ran away from it after that, so he didn't make any mistakes, and that was definitely the key.
Well, congrats here tonight. You got third, and I know you enjoy these Gen 4 cars, so kind of take us through. How do you think your race went overall?
Well, it's pretty good. I had a lot more pace early on. I saved my tires really good the first run, and after that, I didn't do so good saving the second run. Third one, let's see, I did all right the third time, so that middle run kind of messed me up a little bit, but it was good. Obviously, I'm still kind of new to these oval things, so winning in Xfinity last week and getting P3 today is a good step forward and learning these cars and ovals and such.
Yeah, you're used to them. You're used to a few right turns thrown in.
Yeah, that's definitely more of my thing, but it's a lot of fun too, though.
Yeah, you're coming from road course into oval, where I'm kind of go from dirt oval into asphalt oval, and it don't always mix.
No, that's why I think me being good at this is making me struggle in dirt racing. So it's kind of hard to do all three.
Yeah, you put me on dirt, I'm okay. Whether it be dirt road or dirt oval, I'm okay. You put me on asphalt, look out.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a different world.
Oh, it definitely is, because I'm used to putting that foot down and, steering with the throttle. You don't steer with the throttle on asphalt.
You kind of do in these cars more than that's kind of why I like them so much, because they're always so loose. Like you drive the right rear off of them, so like this car, you're definitely a little sideways the whole time, and that's probably the reason why I like them a lot.
Well, you definitely handled it well. We saw a few guys definitely hanging that right rear out quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, that's why I put it on a night race. If we did this during the daytime, it would have been a lot more spins for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely good to have it under the lights. And you got sponsors and shout-outs you want to thank for helping you get up here into third place tonight?
Just Freedom Motorsports Alliance, you for broadcasting, you for sponsoring me in Thursday Night League, and just the league in general.
Well, we're happy to do it, and hopefully you're ready for that dirt track this Thursday.
Oh, we'll see. What is that, Lanier? That's
Lanier?
A tough track.
Yeah, Lanier.
Yeah, that's a tough track.
What do you mean tough track?
It's a little track. It's tough. I'm not good at little ones.
I mean, you're not running those super late model around there. It's a pro late model. So, I mean...
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, it's not
I'll have to do some
too bad.
practice laps today or tonight.
So, congrats there, and hopefully you can continue success here on the asphalt oval side as well. You do the GT3s on Monday nights, but seems like you're starting to get a little bit more competition there.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely shouldn't have picked the Mercedes last week, but it was still fun. It was fun to watch the race afterwards because Brock and Travis had a real good battle there at the end, so it was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it definitely was entertaining. Just too bad you definitely chose. It looked more like a boat you were trying to sail around there instead of a car.
Yeah, that was tough.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night, Chase, and we'll see if we can get moved on up here through the leaderboard.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, here we go with Mark Nelson. Good evening, Mark. How's it going?
Going pretty good. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing well. Are you a little surprised at the second place finish tonight?
Yeah, it should have been lower.
Lower in what way? You mean like closer to 10th?
Exactly. I didn't get very much practice, and I kind of felt like a fish out of water there in practice that I did get in the beginning of the race. I was having a little bit of trouble getting the feel of the car at this track. I'm not typically that strong here, so it took me a little while to get going, but after I got in clean air and kind of was able to run my own line, it started to work out for me.
Definitely looked like you did well out there. Looked like your pitch strategy helped that along a little bit.
I sure hope so. I know that those guys got by me after the pit stops because they got tires sooner, but usually you want to pit towards the end of the cycle because even if they get a jump on you at the beginning, you tend to gain it back and maybe even go further. So Donald was just on rails tonight, and he didn't have to deal with any cars really, and he just set sail. So
yeah, he had pretty much clean air, clean sailing all night long.
Yeah, I was hoping that I could maybe run him down, and I was able to maintain the second half of the race, but that's not going to cut it.
No, you were good, almost 6 seconds off of the lead.
Yeah, and a lot of that was lost in the first half, so that's all good. I've won races. He's a good dude. I'm happy for him.
Alrighty, well, you got sponsors and shout-outs you'd like to give here tonight?
Yeah, sure. Thanks to everyone that supports me, and I have Last of Us on my car, so as I've been saying, go check out the TV show, go check out the game.
Alrighty, well, congrats for second place here tonight, and we'll see how well you do going forward on the GT3s.
Yeah, hopefully better than Monday. That's my goal.
Well, and finishing should always be the goal.
Well, yeah, finishing and not completely screwing yourself over for no reason whatsoever. That was pretty much Monday for me.
It happens, though. It definitely happens. I mean, you could have been worse off. I mean, you could have been like Chase, who did a complete wrong car choice.
Yeah. Well, then he quit, so that's his bad.
Well, he had enough of trying to get that boat around the track, I think.
Yeah, I learned a few things after the race. I wish I would have known before the race, but it is what it is.
Alrighty, well, looking forward to next week here at FMA, and looking forward to see what you bring to the table.
Thanks, Adam.
You have yourself a great night.
You too.
All right, I have Mark Nelson, our second place finisher. Now we'll get in the victory lane to catch up with Donald Ray. Good evening, Donald. How's it going?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Did you get them railroad tracks picked up?
Man, I don't know what was going on tonight. I was able to keep it clean, and it just felt good. Never really felt uncomfortable tonight. So when you feel that way, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy race when you feel good and you keep it off the wall, especially here.
Well, yeah, we saw a few problems with that outside wall quite a few times out of, especially third and fourth place finishers.
Yeah, I feel like Chase probably had something for me there at the end, but he got, before that second pit stop, he got in the wall pretty hard, and it dropped him back quite a bit, and I think he was just a little hesitant to run up there on the wall. I tried to run the bottom.
I don't think he was hesitant.
Early.
He was running up there and it sucked him in.
Oh, man. Yeah, that sucks. I tried to give him a tip. I tried to tell him don't be afraid to drag the brakes getting in and let the car set, but maybe some of them listened, maybe some of them didn't.
Yeah, that's the one thing I struggle with is I go, brakes, what are those?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to feel comfortable and not use the brakes at this track, but I found that I can pick up some time on the field when I was entering a little bit hotter than probably the rest of the field was, and just kind of trail brake into the middle of the corner and then let it set, and then I was able to get on the gas pretty early and get off.
Well, you look great out there running. Like we said, it looked like you put the sail up and never looked back. You had that clean air. It was just allowing you to set sail away from the pack. Didn't really have much traffic to deal with.
No, that was nice. Nice that there wasn't any cautions. Definitely could have changed the whole aspect of the race. And it helps, though, that I love this car. It sucks that I haven't been able to make a race yet until this one this year, because I do love this car. And beside Darlington, Kansas is probably my favorite track in the Gen 4 car, so felt pretty good.
Now, is it your favorite track because you win here, or?
I just feel like Kansas, to me, almost runs like Darlington. It's not the same, but it's
not at all.
It's a rhythm track, though. Darlington's a rhythm track, and
yes, it is.
I feel like Kansas, especially if you're going to run the top, is definitely a rhythm track. You got to have your lift points, your trail brake points, your on throttle points. Everything's got to be just right, similar to Darlington. I just love those two tracks.
I enjoy racing them. I'm not good at them, but I do enjoy once in a while getting out on the asphalt and running.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I heard you guys talking about dirt, and that is definitely not for me. If I'm going to be in the dirt, it's going to be on a four-wheeler or a side-by-side, not in a car.
I don't want to go slinging dirt like a 410 sprint car or a late model.
No, man. I don't dislike driving them, but I don't get into any officials. I don't run in any leagues in dirt just because I'm just going to destroy somebody who has a chance at a good finish. So best thing for me to do is just stay out of them and not upset people.
Well, upsetting people's part of the learning curve, though, I found.
I'll just stick to the hard stuff, man.
Alrighty. This is where you know you got traction, right?
That's right.
Alrighty. Well, congrats on getting the win here tonight. You got sponsors and shout-outs you'd like to give tonight?
Man, just first and foremost, thanks to you for broadcasting this for us every week. It's fun to go back and watch these things for everybody. It takes a lot of time. You know, I've said it before. It's a lot better when there's no cautions, but either way, it still takes your time up, and we do appreciate it a whole lot. And thanks to everybody in the race. I mean, thanks to Chase and Mark and all those guys that I battled with up front tonight. It was clean, it was fun, respectful. I can't say enough about everybody in this league, about the respect level that's given each and every day, every single race. It's pretty amazing.
All righty, well, congrats there, and hopefully you enjoy that victory tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have yourself a great night there, Donald, and we'll see you in future races, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, I'll be in. Take it easy, buddy.
All right, that was Donald Ray, our top finisher here tonight to hear from Victory Lane. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll be around once again tomorrow night. I know we weren't here last week, but if you were keeping an eye on the Coast to Coast Racing Network side of things, they were racing, just not here at Fleeger Farm TV, as it was their big dirt week for the modified series. So they were running the 358s and the big blocks. So, but we are back at it tomorrow night. We're going to be running the 358 big block show, and then we go into the pro late models there after that. And remember, here at FFTv, we don't go and broadcast the pro late models, but if you're wanting to catch that show, you can definitely check it out over at Coast to Coast Racing Network here on YouTube. And we'll be running our own team there, Fleeger Farm Motorsports will be running their team in the late models at Lanier tomorrow night. So it should be fun. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the race tonight here from Kansas, and we look forward to broadcasting more. Thank you so much for watching.